Okay, so again, welcome. This is the commitment circle. We'll be going through the information and the process for this evening. This opportunity is for people who are like-minded, and I'm going to walk you through what those steps are. And when you see the board, it's going to be different than most boards that you've seen before. It's going to have some of the elements of a flower, some elements of a SouSou, some elements of a circle, but it's just kind of taking it to a mega form. So again, the biggest piece is failure is not an option. The goal is not to, as many of us have been burned, been scammed, put things in and have not been blessed back. This is going to be a different opportunity because we are here to make sure that everyone succeeds, and we are working as a team where no board is left behind. So what is it? Again, it's an opportunity for like-minded people. What it's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a get-rich scheme. It's not a scam. It is also, it's a great opportunity, and I'll also show you some people who have been successful with it, that if you follow along, it is and it does work. So initially, how do you start? So for those of you who are joining from, that just came on the board this week, or will be joining us, you will start as Fire, and you will be gifting your $500 by this weekend. And ultimately, you're bringing 2 people. And when you're bringing 2 people, they will be right behind you, depending on what spot you're in. But I'm going to show you that as well. A lot of times, people don't have 2 people. But one of the things that we have been working really hard on is to link people up who, it is a good opportunity. You don't want to miss out because you can't find 2 like-minded people. We all know 2 people, but now are they 2 people that are willing to understand the process and be committed? Maybe not. But what we've been working on is connecting people to individuals who do not have a +2 and linking them together. So I will show you where that is. And then, so here we go of how we actually get started. So on week 1, which is where you will be coming at now, you're coming into the circle and you're gifting your $500 to the person who you'll be given a chart, and I will show you that. So you come in with your 500 and you're gifting that person. The person who is in the water spot will be receiving 4,000. So if you come in this week and you gift, you will be gifted the following week, which is September, I believe, 13th. So everything happens on, we aim for everything to happen on Sunday. One of our groups was really, really successful. They started just yesterday, and they already closed their board. So we're gonna get with them to get them started and start the gifting a little earlier. But our deadline is Sunday for everyone to be blessed. So for those who are in their first week, you already have been, you gifted your 500, and that's the initial week. On your first week, you receive 4,000. Out of that 4,000, you keep 1,500, and you re-gift $2,500 to the person that you gifted the first time, the 500. So this is where it's a community effort, because when you're re-gifting to the person that you gifted first, you're working as a team. They're helping you, making sure that you are answering any questions, helping you with understanding the process, helping with you with your board, helping you with linking the people. So it's definitely a team effort. So on week 2, so you've already come in this Sunday, the 6th. You've already been blessed on the 13th. The week of the 20th of September, you will be gifted again 2,500 from the same 8 people who gifted you in week 1. And from there, it totals $20,000, and you're keeping 14, and you're re-gifting 6,000 to the same person that you gifted 25 to, and the same person that you gifted 5 to. And then on the final week, you are being gifted 6,000 from, and that will equal from 8 people, and that will equal 48, and then you're done. And so it's a 3-week cycle. It's happening every Sunday, and it starts with the group that's coming in. It's starting with this Sunday, And it pretty much, if you're coming in, it's pretty much the month of September. So it's a pretty good September for people who are joining us now. But I'm going to show you what the board looks like and give you more of a visual. So when we keep these numbers in mind. So looking at the actual circle. So here's the circle. So you can definitely see how this circle is very large and more so, more than we normally see. We normally are used to a regular board with 15 people on it, or some people have moved to a list, and we've seen all kinds of lists. We've seen lists with 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 people. Everyone's doing different things, but this board is ultimately bringing together multiple groups of people so that instead of having one person in the water spot, you have an ultimate core 7. So a lot of things are happening at this point. So let me just kind of show you how it breaks into different segments. So I'm going to skip ahead and then come back. So here we can see Yashika, Reggie, Octavia, Gentris, Bobby, Jamie, and Lakeisha. So here is, so this is the core 7. So we have Deja in the yellow, Ashley and Cassandra in the orange, and we have the 4 greens. And all of these 7 people are all going to be gifted this week. So let's just assume that Deja, Ashley, Cassandra, Dorothy, Charles, Rick, Steve all came in last Sunday, and they're currently in the water for this Sunday. And Yashika and the rest of this group all came in this week. So what happened is Steve brought in Yashika. Yashika brought in Octavia and Reggie. Octavia brought in Gentris and Bobby. And then Reggie brought in Jamie and Lakeisha. So everybody here, you can see everyone has brought somebody, and it kind of trickles down the line. Now, one of the things that, just to keep this going, so this is how it started. So Yashika came in and she had her team with you. So ultimately, each yellow spot will split into a new board. So there's going to be 8 different boards that will split off of this one board. So let's look at how Yashika kind of went along through her process. So here we are, and this is one team that came in. So whether you are bringing 2, whether you've been connected with someone, if you are in the yellow and you have 2 oranges and 4 greens behind you, you guys will stay together for the next 3 weeks. This will be your core 7, and this will be your team. So here is Yashika. So here's Yashika, and here's Reggie, Octavia, and the same 4 people that we just saw here. So we can see this is where Yashika came in and her other 6. From Yashika back, these people, all 6 of them, gifted in their $500, and they gifted to different people. So Yashika gifted in Deja. So the purpose of the colors aren't more about levels, but more to show you who you'll be gifting. So Yashika gifted Deja because they're in yellow. Octavia and Reggie gifted Ashley. You can see that the line goes right in, orange to orange. And then these 4, Gentris, Bobby, Jamie, and Lakeisha, gifted Steve. So this is 4 for Steve, and then Steve's other half will come from the second group. But we're just going to look at this group for right now. So these people gifted based off of their color. So now it's Yashika's second week. So she already gifted in the last board. Now this is her turn to be in the water. So this happens the very next board. So some of us maybe have used to being in a board where you started in as a fire, the board split once, then you moved up to an air, the board split again, then you moved up into the earth, the board split again, and then you're in the water. So you had to go through 4 splits in order to get to that point. With this opportunity, you aren't splitting, you're splitting one time and you're immediately in the water that following Sunday. So that's how some people are asking questions on, how did I get into the water? How does this work? So you're starting in, if you're Yashika and you're coming in this Sunday, you're coming in the people behind you are all gifting in this Sunday, and now you're here in the water next Sunday. So now we have the 4 corners. So we already saw that Yashika brought in Reggie and Octavia, and that Octavia brought in Gentris and Bobby. Reggie brought in Jamie and Keisha. So we know that these 3, Yashika, Reggie, and Octavia, already brought in 2 people. So now it's Jamie who's going to start bringing in their 2 people, and then Keisha is bringing in their 2 people, and then Bobby is bringing in their 2 people, and then Gentris is bringing in their 2 people, and then it continues. Then we have the Felicia brought in 2, and then Rodney brought in 2, and then Brandon, when the board splits, he would be bringing in his 2. So if you're in a green, you're not bringing anyone in until the following week. So now we have a full board of Yashika and how her journey is. So here is Yashika. So if we look at this yellow, we can see that there are 8 names going around Yashika. So every one of these yellows are going to split into a new board. So if you're in a yellow, you're going to have 2 people behind you as an orange, and you're going to have 4 people behind you as a green. Now, some people may say, oh, if I'm in yellow, then that must mean that I am now in charge of the board, or I'm supposed to be the leader of the group. And that's not necessarily true, because this is a group effort. Not only is Yashika being gifted this week, Reggie, Octavia, Bobby, Gentris, Jamie, and Keisha, all of them are being on the board, and they're all being watered together. So it's 7 people who are all in the water. So everybody is helping each other with the room, helping each other keep good energy in the room, helping each other invite people in. When people are joining in, you're welcoming them, making them feel comfortable. So everyone is working as a team, even though these people are bringing people in. And sometimes what happens is once Yashika gets to the water or even gets gifted, maybe now, you know, sometimes we didn't have those 2 people. We knew that they were kind of interested, but previous things have kind of caused them to be hesitant. So now they may be like, okay, put me in, I want to join. So maybe Yashika has somebody that she wants to bring in as well. So if, let's just say Keon only had 1, and he's telling the team, hey, I got my 1, I really need some help with a second one. Yes.
Latoya.
Yes.
Can you mute everybody, because there's people coming in and they're not muted.
Oh, okay.
And it's causing an echo. So can you mute everybody?
Sure. Hold on. I've moved all those controls. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, can you guys just mute yourself, because I moved that down so that I can see a full screen and I cannot find the mute all button. So if you can please just mute yourself. Because on my screen, I got the people coming in, I got your pictures, and then it's hard for me to see the whole image. So I kind of moved them to the side, and now I do not see where I moved them at. It's not showing. Okay, so here we have, let me see if I can try this. All right, so let me just keep going. Okay, so here we have the full board. So this will be a full board and what it looks like. And now everyone from these outside yellows, these large yellows, and the greens and the oranges are all gonna be gifting in to the 7 in the center. So everyone from Kenneth back, Freddie back, Bob back, Felicia back, Montavious back, John back. All of these people are going to be gifting in this week onto this board of the 7.
Thank you.
So here, like I'm telling you now, these 7 yellows are all going to be broken up into new boards. So here are what the new boards would look like. So we saw that Montavious, here he is. Can everybody just make sure? Let me see.
No, that's your phone, sweetheart. No, you gotta mute your phone.
Hello, can you mute yourself, please?
This goes in the sub drawer.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I got it.
You got it? Okay. Thank you. Because I was looking to see where I was going to do it. Okay, so here, so we see all the different 8 going around on the outside. So now we're going to see how they moved into their own new board. So if you are coming in this week and you are Freddie in the yellow or Brandon in the orange or Steve in the green, you will be splitting into your own board next week. So you're immediately a core 7. So we call the people who are together behind the yellow all a core 7, and you will be gifted next week. And then you're working on bringing in your 2 people, right? So say for instance, we know Calvin, if we're looking at this, Calvin brought in Darcy and John. So then John's gonna work on bringing his 2 people, Darcy's gonna bring in his 2 people, and then those 2 people are gonna bring in 2 people, and then 2 people from the green, and then those for the green will bring in theirs the following week. So that is in a seamlessly perfect scenario, right? So, and then this is again, all of the people who, all the boards are being split. There's 8 boards, they're all being split. Everybody will be split. So how are you going to be successful? So the biggest thing about being successful is you have to have open communication with your core team. So that core 7, that yellow, those 2 oranges, and those 4 green is your core 7. You have to have good communication with your team, because letting them know, okay, if you're in green, I got 1 person, I'm gonna need help finding my people. Letting the team know right ahead of time so that everyone can start to work together and be supportive. Also, you can be using the Telegram, you can use whatever system that the core 7 wants to use to communicate back and forth with each other. Even sharing information out. For instance, like, you know, our core 7 opened up, you know, had this Zoom going on. So we all are sharing out, like, the Zoom's happening, everyone get on the Zoom. So having a system that you can share with each other information that's being passed out there. And just also, it's important, I mean, you're gifting $500 and you're also trusting the process. So one of the things about thinking about how it's going to be successful is trust. Trust is a huge factor. For many of us, our trust have been very, very broken because we all did our part. We all put in and we blessed somebody else, and we may not have got that blessing back. So, I mean, I can definitely understand that. I definitely have done many boards. I mean, since learning about Telegram back in June, I think I've tried everything from $2 all the way up to $13.50. Some were successful, some I'm still sitting there. Maybe one day my name will reappear at some point. I have no idea. Some I just kind of gave up hope on. But the thing is if you're in here, that means that you are understanding what that process is and you're willing to take that and be trusting of it. So one of the things that you want to make sure that you're not doing is you're not making sure it's not all about you, right? So we're, again, it's a community. We're helping each other, because when we are on that board and you see all those spots, you're definitely working together as a team. Sharon, you have a question?
Well, I was just gonna, I don't really have a question. I'm sort of like you. I've been on board since I think the end of June, and I'm just like you. Maybe my name will come up, maybe it won't. And you be trying to sell your spot because it's sitting too long. And
Right.
so I see right now that we have a group of 6 people, and we have already started. We could network these 60 people onto a board if they are willing, if they want to do it, you know, for the next Sunday or whenever.
Right, this Sunday coming up. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we got 60 people, and if they haven't already
committed,
you know,
right,
got on last week or week after, we could come in as a group and slam
and
it.
there it is,
right
board
now.
closed, right, absolutely.
Yeah, board closed because we got enough people. Maybe to do what, 1.5 or two flowers. So I mean, I'm with the program. Look, I have lost so much money now. You know, I got $500 at least.
Right.
You know.
Yes, so I'm going to show you guys where the current boards are as well. I know that a lot of people in here are on the board, but a lot of people in here are not on the board. They may be deciding, and everybody in here may also, maybe you might be on the board, but you may also be thinking about somebody else that you may not have considered, but you might be like, you know what, let me ask them. But here's the other thing to consider. Like, I know we want to embrace and help our family and help our friends, but if you have to beg somebody to come on, you can know that they are not going to be committed. They are not going to be the ones that may be the best fit. So, so here's some important dates. So seeing that we do have a timeline. So just like Sharon had just said, one of the things that probably was the biggest problem in some of these fast board is it was every day, it was going constantly, and it wasn't really a true structure of like, okay, we're going to get to this point, this point, this point. With this system, we are looking at, you're on that first board where you come in as a fire, you're on the second board where you're a water. Those are the two boards. You see them exactly back to back. You're not waiting for them to wave back around at some point in life. You know that next Sunday you are in that water spot. That's a guarantee. You're in there. And now it's just a matter of working to have people bring in to fill that board. So one of the things is things to remember. In order to hit that Sunday deadline, by Saturday, ultimately my goal is by Friday, that really my goal, by Thursday we're sitting comfortable. But by Friday, we're full, we're ready, we're putting out, we got all the gifting instructions. Saturday and Sunday, people are able to start to gift in, and everyone has the opportunity to give their gift. Like last Sunday, we had Cash App problems. Cash Apps was going through, then it was going back. People's accounts was closed, didn't know it, didn't trying to figure out. People didn't have Venmo. Now you're trying to download Venmo. You didn't have Zelle. Now you're trying to figure out what Zelle is. And you're like, okay, what's PayPal? I had PayPal for other things, but I never used it to send it. So it was a lot of experiments happening last weekend. So by having that window, we had some time to get that all through and still make that deadline. So ultimately, things to consider is making sure that you have 2 to 3 different methods of how you're going to be gifted. So don't just rely on Cash App, because everybody doesn't have Cash App. And as we start to get in the higher numbers, some of these accounts don't allow you to withdraw all of this right off the bat. And also for Zelle, depending on your bank, you may only be able to send out $3,500. So if you've already maybe used your Zelle for something else, and now you're trying to use your Zelle for this, you may already be at your limit. So a lot of it is going to be depending on your bank. So one of the things between now and, you know, when is your gifting time, is to look at what are some of the options that you're going to have available. So since the fiasco last week, now I think I have Venmo, PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and I think I was gonna look into Chime. So I have multiple different sources, and I have Zelle in order for people to give them different breakdowns. So the other thing is is as you are in the green spot, you're also starting to think about who are you bringing in for the next week. And ultimately, our goal is definitely, as we cycle back through, is to be by that Friday to have it ready, locked down, ready to split. Everybody knows what's going on. As the leaders, like we made up the chat rooms for everybody, had the boards ready. So as people were gifting in, we're putting them in the new chat room. They're already getting started. So I'm going to show you some of those things as well.
So happy that this is put away, then I could deal
Can you unmute your phone?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so for some of you, what's next is, regardless if you are in the fire position, you should be filling out a commitment circle Google form, and that is in all of the rooms. We'll go back and we will pin it again for you. And in there, you're answering some of the questions. Well, you're answering all of the questions. But one of the things that this question of what is your why is something that I really want you guys to really consider. I mean, we all can think of 63,000 reasons why, but ultimately, what is your why? What is going to be the piece that's going to hold you when you're trying to network to find somebody to come in, when you're in your group and you're trying to multitask, because we still have families, we still have full-time jobs, we still have things going on, people are in school, people have kids, you have all that going on, and now you're in this group, which is 3 weeks, and it's very busy because every week something else is happening. What is going to be your why? What is your reason that is bringing you to this place? What's going to hold you and what's going to motivate you to keep going? Because if you're just like, I'm just trying to fill my bank account, then sometimes when it gets rough, you might be like, you know what? It ain't even worth it. Like I'm not worried about that 500. I'm not willing to go through the next 3 weeks because it's just not worth it. But when you have something that's meaningful for you and something that's holding you to that why, if you're like, I want to start this business and this is going to be my down payment to get that building that I need to open up my restaurant that I've been always dreaming of, or I want to start a daycare. If you have your why and that's important to you, that is going to hold you through. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and act like this is easy. This is 3 weeks. It is busy. We are constantly bringing people in. Once you're on the circle, you're constantly networking with your team to see what's going on. People are asking you questions. People are calling you. I mean, even now my phone is constantly lighting up and people are saying different things. So it is something that needs to be meaningful for you to hold on and say, why am I doing this? Why am I doing all this? And if you have that why, it will hold you and it will make you stay committed and follow through with that process. So that is something that I'm just asking you to just consider. What is your why and what is bringing you here and what is going to keep you from going and saying, you know what, I'm done, I'm out. But what's going to keep you from moving forward and being successful? So the other thing, just ending with, is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. So I want to show you some of the different boards. So some of you are already in the boards, but I just want to give you a little bit more information. So let me see if I can do my screen share again. So here is the Telegram app, which we all know and love, right? I can't even imagine, before June, I was never on Telegram, and now I feel like this is my whole life. I'm always on it. Before this group, I was always on Telegram doing all kinds of stuff. So one of the questions that is asked is, when you finish the 3-week cycle, can you go back in? The answer is yes. They do, the commitment circle does ask for you to wait and go back in every 3 weeks to go back in to do that cycle. But if you do go back in, you go back in a different spot. And maybe if we got a group going on and we all kind of like say, we're going to go back again, and we kind of shuffle together. But what spot you will be on is going to depend on where that board is at, because you would have to catch that board in the fire spot to see what those people are doing. Because I can guarantee you, you may not have 2 people now, but when you tell your family, you know what, I got $20,000 this weekend, they're going to say, excuse me, say what? Can you tell me what happened? How do you get this? People are going to be way more interested because people, I'm not going to lie, people are very salty right now. I asked some people and they were very, very like, I'm not doing none of that. I don't want to be bothered. And then you say, you know what? That's okay. I'm not going to pressure anybody to do anything. I'm going to keep moving and I will find 2 people from somewhere else. And it did work out for me. So, and let me just show you my journey. So when I came in, so when I was showing you guys Yasika's board eventually Gabe and Karina and Daniel came in, and then and Marquise came in, and then we came through. So I'm from Yashika, so she's already gifted. Her 48K was last week, and the people that came under her came over. So we're like 3 levels below the group that I was showing you here. So we came in through Marquise's board. So here's Marquise's board, and this is where we started the core 7 that you guys have been seeing. If my internet wants to work. Are you guys seeing Marquise? Is this still showing?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Question in
And
the
one
chat.
question in the chat is, how many times do you get 500? One time. So when you're regifting, it's not coming out of your pocket anymore. You're only putting out of your personal pocket 500 one time. When you regift, you're regifting out of your gifted money that you've received. You're not putting out anything out your personal pocket, again, only one time. So here's my board. So here I am, and this is the 7 that I came in with, and I've been gifting Marquise, and this is where I've been. So I started not last Sunday, the Sunday before. So I heard about this a few times, and when they first told me, I had already just lost like $600 on a few other Telegram chats, so it was a hard no. Like, I lost $600 this week. I'm not turning around putting another 5 out. So I'm good, thank you. And he let that go. He didn't say anything else. And then the following week, he reached out to me again, like, hey, just letting you know, this is another opportunity. And he also presented it, well, if you don't want to put the whole 5 out, I have somebody, and it was Lorelli, I have somebody who wants to share a spot, so you only have to put out 250. So I'm like, okay, you know what? 250 sounds better than 5, so let me start there. And so when I came into the board, me and her were both on this yellow spot, and I was looking at this board like, this is crazy. Like, how does this even work? So once I kind of started to understand what was going on, me and her decided, we're good. We're gonna split away, and we each got our own spot. So this is where I came in at. And then yesterday, so we gifted Marquise last week 500, and then yesterday we regifted our 2,500 because we got gifted our 4,000 this past weekend. So you can see in here where they gifted the 2,500, and depending on how, like, some people broke it up, some people had to split it. So, but you can see where they got their regift of 25. So then here is my group. So we started last Sunday. We came in. Last Sunday we came in. And this is our board. So last Sunday when we came in, when we started, we had this board this is our core 7. And I can tell you, last Sunday, I was looking at this board like, I have no idea how in the world this is gonna work out, and gotta come up with a plan. So we all worked together, and I had talked to Zolo before. I said, look, I got this idea of starting a waiting room where we can add people that are through our contacts and start a waiting room and share that and see if people want to join in, because people are still on these groups. Like, you can see people are still out here. These are all my groups that I've been in, and people, so maybe our personal people are like, but people are still doing it, that's for sure. So well, I want to network with people who I know are still interested and still trust the process. So I'm going to bring them from my contacts. So that's what happened. Started this room, the level up room, and just started adding our contacts in here and just sharing the information, put it out here, and here we are. So that board came together last Sunday, started adding the names like Monday. By Tuesday afternoon, we were done, we were closed, finished. So here is our crew and where we are now. So our board filled, let me see where our fill board is. So this is our fill board, and this is where everybody is split out. So ideally, you are bringing two. So I can say most of these people on this board, some of these people did not know each other prior to this. They're two people. So for instance, like, let me see. Some of these people are matched up with someone, right? So like Tawanda and Trina and Monet, none of them knew each other until they were in the waiting room and they met each other there. And now they're on their board. So all of these 8 yellows are now split into new boards, which is the rooms that we're currently working on filling now. So this board just split yesterday, and now we are working on filling the 8 new boards by this weekend. So far, I have all my rooms into groups. So here's Tawanda's group, which they have been like a rock star group because they are already closed and they literally just started this weekend. And I can say most of these people found each other, they networked with each other. These were not their two that they came in with. They kind of met them along the way and say, hey, I'm interested, you're interested. People from the waiting room came in, people added their contacts into the group, and people were like, oh, I'm interested, but I don't have one. Well, I don't have one, so let me be a 1 and a 1 and we'll go behind somebody. So people have been working together. They also have been networking and saying, let me add my contacts and let me bring somebody else in that I'm thinking. A lot of people have been bringing people in from other rooms that they were in. So if you were on another board, and you kind of start to see this similar people. So they were like, well, I know I was in this group with them. Let me see if anybody in that room maybe wants to come join this. So that's also how people have been finding their people. So not necessarily you're finding like your family members and friends, but you're finding people who already understand the process, who are already understanding what this means. So it's a little bit easier to digest. So this is their room. They are already closed out, and a lot of these people are already having like a wait list. Like Emmett is like a rock star. Every person who comes to the waiting room, they're like, I was recommended by Emmett. I was brought by Emmett. I'm like, well, I don't know what Emmett's doing, but please teach me the way, because he's brought so many people in. Brandy has been people coming in left, right. Like, she brought me in. Faith had people like, oh, Faith invited me. And it's funny, it's so interesting because we did have to make some changes. Like Thursday night, we made some changes. And Terrence and Faith came in on Friday. And they both came in and said, I don't have anybody. I don't know. I don't have anybody, but I'm willing to work, but I don't have anybody. And that was Friday when they came in, and the board closed yesterday. And then here we are today. So I know sometimes it looks like, oh my gosh, this is impossible, but it is very doable if you are, you just have to think about how, or what are some options, using some of the apps, the groups that we already have, using your contacts that you already been networking with other people. So these are our groups. Everyone is kind of like coming along and doing their thing. So, and so when we were talking about, Sharon had mentioned about joining. So yeah, so we only got one room that's closed. So we got 7 others that are open. Like this is another room that we have. So, I mean, we're coming along. I mean, and we just started this day is only Monday. So it's not bad for a Monday. So I have faith in it, and I trust the process. I wasn't trusting in the beginning, but I do trust it now. And I do see value in it. And it is, like, again, like I said, very life-changing. So I think that's enough of my rambling. So anybody have any questions, concerns about the process? Okay, so let me see. Some people raised their hand. So Sharon, you had another question? Somebody else had a question. Melissa, you have a question? Or you guys just raised?
Yes, I do. This is Melissa. Yes, I do have a question. So my question is this. So we're filling up the board, if I'm correct, so that we can gift on September 6th.
Right, this weekend.
After I gift I'm a fire on September 6th. Then on the 13th, I become a water.
Yes.
But in order for me to get watered, am I then now having to fill the circle again? Like, so
ideally, so if you're coming in now as a fire, you are bringing in 2 people behind you. And then that same process continues when the new board opens. So it should be the people who are continually to come in behind you are the ones who are bringing additional people. But yes, you are helping and encouraging. And
right. So I guess the part that I'm not 100% understanding is so I understand where I fire and who I'm firing to. But what I'm not understanding is when I become water, where are those people coming from that are then now are now watering me?
So can you see my screen right here where it says yap and fascia? Can you see that? It says charm and cut.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so these people right here, this Alvin and crew, they just came off the board that fired in from my board yesterday. And here is their board now. So now these people who are in the green are working and bringing their people. And then if they didn't have somebody, we're working on helping them bring people in. But if you were in orange, then technically you already brought your 2. Now, if you're in green, that means you didn't bring anybody to the board.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So if you're in yellow, then these would be your 2. If you're in orange, then these are your 2. And if you're in green, you didn't bring anyone. So those are the people who are bringing somebody. And then that cycle is continuing.
Right. So, but I guess what I'm like I said, what I'm trying to understand is and I must be missing it. So so this board I'm looking at right now, right? So let's say where cut is, right? Next cut would be in the water position, correct? And then those 2 people behind her would be in the orange, right? So what I'm saying is then next week when it's time for me to be watered, am I then now trying to fill in the spots to get people to water me?
So let's just look at the example you're saying with cut is, right? So cut's in the yellow. These Toby and Ann are in the orange, and then these 4 right here would be in these 4. So Cut's already brought his 2. These orange already brought their 2. These greens have not brought anyone. So we're looking at these greens to see what people do they have, and they would be bringing the people in. So if you're in Cut's position, yes, you are counting on these greens to be bringing someone in and helping them, encouraging them. That's why I've been using the waiting room. I can say I got half of these people out of the waiting room just today. So that's what you would be looking at, these greens to be bringing.
So again, so then once I fire on Sunday, then technically my job would then be to now help get all the rest of the spaces filled out so that then when the 13th comes, then I would then be guaranteed to get water. Is that right?
So if you are technically, if you are in like a yellow position, is that what you mean? Like say you're in
What?
yellow or orange?
Oh, so everybody, so let's say everyone that is gifting on September 6th, right?
Right. So
When-
everybody coming in from Kurt and below, everybody here is all gifting in. Yes.
Right. And so then now the following week when they are due to be watered on the 13th, those people that are watering them are the people that now we've tried to recruit in that week's time. Is that correct?
Right. So that's where the green people are recruiting. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I want. I wanted to
Yes.
understand.
Yes, that is right.
Again, because of being on a boards that have stalled or whatever, I'm trying to figure out how this could still do the same thing. So
Right.
most of the time you don't get watered in a week, but if you're getting watered in the week, then again, then technically my job would be with the rest of my team is just to help fill up our circle so that when the 13th came, we would then be able to be watered, correct?
Ultimately, yes. But the first step that you're looking at is those in the green because nobody came behind them. So that's the first thing, is looking at them to see if they have any people. And then branching from there.
Okay.
So that's why like this Joyce and T&L, they have their own that they're working on. So I didn't mess with their side. But these people said, I have like, okay, this one didn't have anyone, but okay, I found this lady and then she had two. So placing them together, and then they're working on bringing their two behind for next time. So yes.
Okay. I get it now. I got it.
Okay, so this is Sharon, and I have a question. How, looking at this, how many in all is it that you would need to?
Altogether is 56 altogether.
56. Okay, now, is there somebody actually doing the logistics of this? Or for instance, is there a team lead, or is that the person that's in the yellow in the very center? Is that the team lead, and they're letting people know when to pay or whatever, or is the admins doing that?
So there's no admin, there's no admin fee. So we have been, it depends on the board. So for instance, like this board, I've been doing the lead. Some of the boards, like Tawanda's board, I started and then they took over and said, we got it. I jump in and answer questions as needed. Some of the boards, like Nakia's board, they are like, we've done boards before, we can do that. So it depends on what everyone's experiences is. Like William, their group, they know how to, they are fine. They're like, we already had groups before. So it also depends on how the people in that group work. So some of them already say, I already know how, I don't need it. And then some of them may say, I'm good. And they just put in the chat, can you please add Marsha behind Charm in orange? And that's what they put in here, somewhere in here. And I said, okay, yep, got it. They added it and I put it in.
So. Okay, so we got 53 people. Go ahead and get the board started with us. And
can I get one who would like to, who's already not on the board, who wants to come on?
Go ahead and put us in.
Sharon, what board are you on? Sharon, what board are you on?
I'm on the one that's everybody else gonna be on right now.
I like her answer.
Right now, go ahead. I'm serious.
That's awesome, Sharon. Yeah, your energy and your attitude is really awesome, honestly.
I mean, look, I done been on these boards since the 27th of June. I have gotten some money, but I've lost a lot, But I trust the process. I do.
You actually just said in the group that somebody brought you in though. Somebody actually brought you in.
Yeah, who invited you, Sharon?
You know what? I think
JM. Who's JM?
Oh yeah, it was that man. What's his name? Davis, Jay Davis, I think.
Oh, in here? You said JM?
Mr. Davis, Jay Davis.
Oh, let me.
You know what? There is another board out there just like this one.
Oh yeah, there are, because we all split. So just like when we split from Marquise's board, 7 more boards split from them. And now another 8 split from them. So yes, there are, now that they've started splitting, there are more,
Right.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, I just decided to go on. I think somebody invited me from this group and from Mr.
Somewhere
Davis'
else.
group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
put me on the list. Put me on
All
the
right,
list.
Sharon, I got you down. I got a spot right for you. Don't worry. Sharon, now do you have 2 people? Or do you have 1 person? What you got?
I got 2 people that's already on this phone call.
Okay, well then, I will definitely get with you, Sharon. Don't worry, we got you.
I'm serious. Where you want me to
I'm
send
not.
my
I'm
money?
not. I'm dead serious too. I'm serious.
Where you want me to send the money? Because I want to be
Oh,
in
by
on this.
Friday. It's gonna happen. So
Okay.
yes.
I have a question.
Go ahead. What you say?
Hi, I have
How
a
you
question.
doing?
This is Quay.
Okay. Yes, Quay. You was gonna bring your daughter.
Yes. Me and my daughter. I'm trying to find my other person. So my question is, so looking at this board and
right on.
so when this board is completely filled and we move on to the next level, the next following week, do everybody on this board move with us, or
only the 7 people? So right here it'll be Zakia, Ashley, you, and highly favored, and then the other 3 people would move together.
Okay.
So only 7 go together.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
And then, so that's for week 1. But what happens in week 2? Do the
so
same?
In week 2, you would. So when you move to week 2, you would be in this 7, and that's where you stay for week 2, 3, and the last week. So you don't move again. You're only on 2 boards. You're on this one, and then your own, and that's it.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah. How you spell my name now?
I got you as Sharon Johnson. Sharon, I got you. I'm telling you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I was listening to Ms. Sharon, and I was interested. I mean, not to focus on the negativity or anything, but it does, nobody likes to lose money.
Right.
And my understanding is when Ms. Sharon expressed that she's had experience in these boards, how is it that she lost money or she just sits there? How is that even possible if, you're saying that this is actually going to, move forward?
You mean how has she lost money? I think she was saying she's lost money in other places. And you said, how is that possible? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to know, because once you put an investment.
I mean, I can't speak for other groups, but I mean, how you lost money is, for one thing, I can speak for these Telegram groups that are fast groups. And a fast group I define as a group that, I mean, I can show you one, let me see, where you just jump in where you get in. So here's 4 boards, 25 gets you 50. If you want to put your name in, you just put your name in. There's no system that says how many people are going to be needed. How many people gets everyone to now have somebody to follow behind them. There's no system. So it's literally every day you just come in and you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put my $100 in, and hopefully somebody comes behind me. It's not like, well, at least here's a board. We know how many people. We know the time frame. We know the structure. These are just you get in where you just jump in. You're just throwing yourself in, like.
And also too, with this system here, just so you know, what's your name? I'm sorry. Just so you, what Latoya is basically trying to say is that, although we're not saying you have to have 2 people, because we will try to, find people who are singles. It is highly encouraged, almost really the only way that the system really works is if you do bring in 2 people. And that's how you can pretty much guarantee that, listen, if everybody is doing their part as a community, then it will work. It's when people are not doing their part, and like she just said, getting in these quick, turnaround boards and looking for something real quick. That's the reason why it's not organized and structured, like she said.
Yeah, okay.
And then here's the other thing. Another thing about it is some people want to throw their money in, like you put your money in today and they want to come back on Sunday and say, where's my 4,000? I ain't seen you since Sunday. You never brought nobody in. You didn't come into the chat. You didn't do anything. You just put your money in and said, well, I'm going to sit back and let it happen. I guess they think, well, this is grass and it's just growing. Like, this also is a process. It helps when, you know, people have to work together, but some people just want to throw it in. And then some people did say, I don't want to do this process because I just want to put mine in and just come back later and pick it up. So it depends on what you want to do. Then some people, that's all. They're like, that's it. I just want to throw in and that's it. You let me know when it's ready.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. I noticed that the name of the group is the commitment group, and then there's maybe I missed something on the gifting as far as the 48K and the 63K. So how do you get to that point where it actually totals the 63, or is it max at 48?
No. So the first week it's 15 that you wind up, because you are regifting 25 and you're getting 15. The second week you get 20 and you regift 6, so that's another 14,000. So 14,000 second week, 1,500 first week, and then the last week you're not regifting anything. You keep the whole thing, and that's 48.
Okay. So would you advise that a person, because of the amounts of the gifting, would you advise that a person just have this opportunity one time, or what's your advisement on that?
I mean, I think it all depends on your own financial pieces. I know some people said that they, you know, say for instance, they're putting it on Cash App. So Cash App has a card, Venmo has a card, PayPal has a card. So they didn't put it directly into their bank account. They're separating things on different cards and transferring it in, because after a certain amount, if you have a certain amount in your bank account, it alerts the IRS, because this is free tax money. This is free
exactly
money that, why does the government care? Because they want their portion. They want their portion. So some people are doing that. Some people also said, if you have a business, you can put it in your business account. And yes, you do pay taxes at the end of the year, but then it's just unquestioned. But you are allowed to be gifted 15,000 per for individual people. So some people you only will be gifted 9,000 total from the same person. But if you do Zelle, then it goes right into your account right away. So you also have to look at, you know, everyone has different financial tax brackets. So you have to look at those things as well. And other things. I know one time somebody was talking about they get social SSI, or they get disability. So if you get disability and you know that they look at your bank statements at some point and you got this large sum of money that came in, they're going to ask you where it came from. So you really have to think about, you know, your own personal financial situation, about what you need to, how it works best for you.
Is there a time frame for lapsing for when you can come back in the process, start the process again?
It's three weeks.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting on my person to do what she does so I can do what I do.
Okay. That sounds good. Miss Sharon, what's your screen name, Miss Sharon? I'm trying to add you in here. Trying to find you. Miss Sharon, did you leave us?
I saw her. She's in the
Okay, I'm here now.
You saw her, Nika?
Every time I get in a group, they want you to change the bio, and one of them don't want the Cash App information.
Oh, okay.
They were saying Telegram was going to shut you down, so I took the Cash App out. Then another group I got in, you got to have your Cash App or your forms of payment in, and then you have to have a name. I think I'm in there as Ozark 80, OZARK 80, or just Sharon Johnson -MBA.
Yes, you're in. She's in the main. She's in our group. This Latoya's crew group.
She's in there.
Yeah, she's in there. I'm going to add you to see it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Any other questions?
So yeah, I wanted to comment on the way the money is going to be coming in. Unless you've been doing this stuff for years and years, which nobody has, the money that's going to be coming in is going to be highly unusual activity in your account.
Right.
And that is going to raise a red flag. And I know for a fact, anything $10,000 and above in your account, the bank has to report that.
Yeah, they have to send an alert for that. Yes.
They have to send an alert. So I highly would suggest, if you're gonna drop this money in your account, like do it a little bit at a time, or get a Cash App card or a Zelle card and drop it in there. And if you're gonna put it in the bank, you got to do it like a little bit at a time, like 2,000 or 3,000 every 2 weeks, or something like that. But yeah, so that's what I had to do. I got this little Zelle card, Cash App card today, and I'm gonna have to drop some money in there, because you can't even leave the money sitting on the Cash App too long. You know?
Right. Yeah. So you definitely have to have. So for the first 2 times, it wouldn't be as bad, but that last time, definitely have it spread out. Or you could also have it spread out where you say, 3 people send it this way, 3 people send it this way, the last 2 send it this way, so you can break it up.
Yeah. Well, your method of payment keeps a very good bookkeeping record of who paid you.
Right.
All you gotta do is go in your history, and it'll have, I flipped that thing up, and it's got 500, 500, 500, 500, and it just goes on and on. So that's a good record right there of who gave you what and what you paid out also. Yeah. Yeah. So people get, this is the new normal because of coronavirus.
Yeah, a lot of people have definitely been on here because
ain't no jobs out there.
No. And people have had some extra at the beginning. People still had some extra unemployment that they were using to flip it and spread it out for them. So it was definitely
I think as soon as them people start getting that $300 a week,
it's gonna come back up. They're gonna be back.
The board's gonna pick up because
Yes,
I'm gonna tell you, the money that I lost was these startups. They would start like today, and they were out by Friday.
Right.
And that's where I lost a lot of my money, because they folded up. Nobody was out there playing.
And then some of them were, they would do like 2 boards, enough to get their admin fee, their admins, and then they would, we'll be back tomorrow, and then they never opened back up.
Never opened back up. And
so that's how it became, like, how did you lose out? Because people never opened it back up. And or sometimes if you start talking negative in the group, then people start saying, oh, well, is that true? And then it kind of creates a negative vibe. And then that kind of kills the group as well. So no one wants to be around negativity. So when people start saying different things, or like one time the board had just opened and they started questioning, well, why is this person on the board? Where'd they come from? And then everyone was like, oh, where did they come from? And it just turned into a whole snowball effect. And then it was just like, and that was it. So definitely, keeping the chat room positive is very important.
If you could, go ahead.
How much are the admin fees, and how often do you pay them? Oh, okay. I thought you said there was one. I'm sorry.
No.
Probably should be.
I mean, I do take tips.
That'll work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot. I will say it is a lot of work, but at the same time, I mean, people go to work every day and don't make $63,000 a year, and you're talking about it in 3 weeks. So it's definitely, worth it. That's for sure.
So anybody who we want to invite in, we need to first invite them into that main chat instead of.
I mean, no, you can invite. The only thing that I was trying to do is, sometimes everybody just drops like 500 of their contacts in a room, and now it's like 1,000 people in the room and only like 4 people doing it. So not to just make it like, because it's also trying to make it like a community and not just everybody you could think of, you just go through your phone and add in. But if you know there's people that you're seriously thinking about adding or a group, then yeah, you can put them into the actual room. But sometimes we just add like every person you know, and then, you know, because we'll go in rooms and they got like 5,000 members, but only 100 is online, you know. So just try not to make it be one of those kind of rooms and making it be more of keeping the integrity, because then people started spamming and they were doing everything else. Because at first I didn't have to close. I don't close the chat box. People can still keep going because I'm on East Coast time, so I know people are, you know, still going on West Coast. But when you start adding a whole bunch of random people, like some of these, I don't know what these been seeing some of these spam things coming in, like Chinese symbols or something were popping up today. So just trying to keep the integrity of the group.
Okay.
But any other questions? I know I held you guys past your time, but I appreciate everyone coming. And also, so then the group I came from Marquise's group, but then the group that came from Marquise came from the 63K group, and they do Zoom calls. Usually they do Zoom calls every day. They do Zooms in the morning. They did them today at 10 Pacific time, so they do them. And a lot of people put information in here, and then you can see this is where they're getting, because see, this is the person who told me. Gabe is the one who invited me. So this is their 48K week. So they were getting, has started getting their gift payments for their 48K that people were starting to send. And they were sending that yesterday and going in there throughout the weekend. But this room is so busy. Keeping up with all of what's going on in there is a lot.
I feel like this room will be a game changer. Like it's completely different from the rest of the groups, especially getting paid every week. Like,
I'm like, if I had known about this in June, I'm telling you, I would be in a different place right now. I would have told that virtual learning school, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be doing this whole work from home. I have another plan, at least for this year. But yeah, I definitely think it could be. It's definitely world life changing. Even if you just go for the one time, like it can really be impactful for you. So, but if anyone doesn't have any more, yes,
this is Lynn. I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question for you actually.
Okay.
When did you, and I got on just a little late, but when did you come in, and where are you at now?
So I came in on my first day. I came in was on August 16th. And no, I came in on last Sunday. I came in last Sunday, which was the 23rd. I gifted my 500 to Marquise and Marquise's crew right here. And yes, this weekend, over the weekend, because we started our gifting on Friday, because we finished early, I got my 4,000 this weekend, and I regifted my 2,500 to Marquise. And then this weekend coming up will be 20. So, and that's the other thing. Like, I mean, in 6 days, $20,000. You bet I'm going to be working hard. Like, there's no way I'm going to be doing everything possible to get these boards closed. Like, it's not also. That's what makes it. You know, once people gift and they're like, oh, well, the people in the water are out. Like, no, you're also regifting. So Marquise is going to be looking for his 6, and I'm going to be making sure that these boards close so that it happens. So it's definitely a team effort.
What do you mean when you say he's looking for his 6? I thought
Because
you only had to bring him 2.
Because we're regifting. So when you regift, so like this weekend, I regifted Marquise 2,500. That's how he got his 20,000 yesterday. And then next weekend, I regift him 6,000, and that's how he gets 48. And then this weekend coming up, I'm regifted 2,500. That's how I get 20,000. So you're a fire and a water. So part of the portion you are gifting, and part of the portion you are being gifted.
Oh, okay. Because you said he has to find 6 people.
No, I meant $6,000. $6,000.
Oh, okay. That confused me when you said
Yes,
6
no, I'm
people.
sorry.
I thought it was
Dollars.
just 2 people.
Dollars, sorry.
Okay, so as long as I have two people to
And
come in,
Yep.
so they have to have 2 people as well.
Right there, yes, because you brought them, and then they need to be bringing somebody behind them. Yes.
And that helps to make the total of 56.
Ultimately, yes. Yep.
Okay, when you say ultimately.
Yeah, because you said the total. Because it's not like you personally are going to want to bring 56 people in.
Right, but I mean collectively.
Right, when everyone brings in 2 on that board, then it all together comes up to 56. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anybody else have any questions? More questions?
This is Basia. Just to be clear, when you go to the week 2 and week 3, all the people that paid the person who was watered initially pay that exact same person each week.
Yes.
And so the second and third week, you're not necessarily looking for people to pay you your money, but you're still helping the people who are, in the green or who came in that last week. You're still helping them find people, but essentially it's
being
week
a
2
support.
and week 3. Okay. I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yep. And even, like I said, the person who invited me, even while we were here, she had just texted me and asked me how everything was going. And now they got their, they were working on their 48. They were getting it this past weekend that just passed. But I mean, now she was just asking how everything was going. So you're just still like keeping in contact, because when you're first coming in, a lot of these questions, like how you're asking, like, I'm really not sure. Until you kind of go through it that first time. Then you're like, okay, now I understand. But until then, you're just asking questions because you're not sure. Because it's different. I mean, a board is very big. You got all these colors going on. So it's nice to have somebody that you can ask questions to. Everybody good?
So the only thing that I still think that I don't have is so these 56 people that are on this board right now, that's going to fire on the 16th. When we then fire,
they're firing on the 6th, this Sunday.
Right. So we fire on the 6th. The 13th, when we get paid, the board would then have one of us in the middle, and then there's 7 of us circling around from the 7 people that follow us, correct?
So it would be 1 in the middle and 6 around, and all 7 of you are being watered at the same time.
Okay. And so with all of us being watered at the same time, the second week, are we then doing what you're doing now? We're trying to get those 56 people to now fire. They're not there to fire us, the 500, correct? But when we go to the next board, which is the next board, are we just then now having to do the same thing? Or no, is it just following behind after that?
You're just helping after that. You're just helping.
Okay.
Because you're only on 2 boards. So you're on the board you're coming down, and then your own board where you're being gifted. And then after that, you're just helping the people that are coming in.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well,
can I ask a question, please?
Yes. Yes.
So all right. So now so now you broke off. You're in the center, or whatever. You broke off into your own board. So now we're going to repeat that whole board with the greens and everything. So is it a possibility that then that board will stall if it's not full of the green, like if all the spaces aren't filled? Even though you went all the way through the process, and now you're there because you broke off. You're starting over again, right? A whole new board.
Right. So if people don't do their part, then are they working together? Yes. So here's a groom, and this is a group that broke off with me, right? They broke off together. We were initially on the same board, and Nobody was, it was like the same, it was only like literally right here, they have 25 members, right? Including myself, which I'm not on their board. And 25 members, and you think of 7 are on the board. And then the other ones, like they asked us, can you, you know, go in there and like offer some support. So you guys, nobody brought anybody. Nobody did anything. Like you can see it. Like you can see it's the same 2 people. Like that's it. So these people who actually paid their $500 didn't even say, okay, I'm going to at least come in and do anything, you know? So that's why it definitely is a team effort. And it's definitely, but if you don't care that you, but I mean, to me, I'm looking at it like you put your money in, you didn't even care to come back.
Right,
you know?
right.
So this is how, but they're not letting this board go, that's for sure, because that was then. And here it is. This board was supposed to close yesterday, and they're still working on it. Like they're not giving up and saying, okay, we're done. They're still working. So this is today. So they're still working on that board.
Okay. It's
so
not
they
the
don't
end
just
of the
say,
world.
oh, well, like, you know, like they're still working. I mean, this poor lady, Rosie, I think, I don't know where she comes in on the board, but she's been trying. But the rest of these people have been like, you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Yep. Did anybody else have a question? You had a question that you wanted me to show the board of the current board or just up board? Davina had a question.
No, I was just saying show the board because I couldn't see when you were explaining.
Is this what, okay. Is this good for you, or you want me to show you something else?
No, this is fine. It was just I was a little confused as to when you have, like, say, Nika W in the main part, what level she's on at that point.
Right. So she's being watered along with the other group around her are being watered. And then these Darren, Ryan, Asia, Audra, and Tanya are all coming in. Right now, they're coming in. They're new.
So Tanya C would be they would get the $500, and then the Shanika and then would get the $2,500, and then Fred would get the $6,000.
No, so all of these people all get the same amount in the middle. They all get the same thing. So they're all on the same level. The only reason why there's a color is because, so as Shanika, these are the 8 who are going to gift Shanika. And then let me show you one that's completed. Okay, so here's Marquise, right? So here I am. I gifted Marquise. Lorelli gifted.
I don't see Marquise on the board.
Oh, do you not see this in here? Oh. Hold on. Do you see it now?
I see it. It's showing up on the screen.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure.
There
so
we go.
Some people do see it, or?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay. So we see here. So here's a Nika W that I was just showing you. So here's Nika W. She's gifting Marquise. Fred, he's gifting Virginia. And then that Shanika that we were just looking at and Droya, they're gifting Rosie. So if you look at the greens, they gift this green. So the people in the middle. So you just have to follow the green, follow the line to here is this one. Just like on this side, I would follow the green and say Latasha.
Yeah.
And if I'm here, I'm following the green and going here. And then the orange, you're following it here. So these 8 come here. These bottom 8 come here. So you're just following the line where they're going. And that's, so the colors are showing you who you're gifting, but all in the middle, they're all on the same level, it's just colors are different just to know who gifts who. It just makes it complicated.
Makes it easier.
Yes.
So hi, this is Cheryl. I want to make sure I understand this. So can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So what you're saying is, in essence, the outer green gives the inner green $500 because they're on that level.
Right.
The outer orange gives the inner orange $2,500 because they're on that level.
Yes.
Outer yellow at this point gives the inner yellow $6,000. Got you. And then they split off.
Did you say the what's 1,000?
The outer yellow gives the inner yellow $6,000.
No, everybody is like, so you had all the people right, but it's all the same amount. It's all the same amount.
So on this flower, everybody on the
everybody
outer,
gifted 500 on this flower. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, because they're on this level. But then in the next
so it's the same. So the colors, you had that right, but the amounts, same amounts. Yes.
Okay. So then once this goes to the next level, where then in the next level, the colors will be gifting each other the 2,500.
So on the next level, this is me here. So I went to my own board and I got gifted 500 from 8 people. Now, yesterday I came back to this board, to Marquise's board, and I gifted him 25. So everybody here came back to this board and re-gifted the exact same people 25, but we all did it. Everybody here
because
did
you're
it.
on that next level, and then after that, when you guys come back for the third time, that's when it's the 6,000,
right? Which will be this weekend.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I thought it was the way I was. Okay. I see it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Oh, and one other question I had.
Sure.
I know I have one and a possible. Sound like we're playing spades. Who do we reach out to if we're like, look, I'm struggling trying to get the second person?
Are you already on the board, or are you thinking about coming in?
No. I'm some kind of way I got in here. I don't know how. Somebody.
Oh, okay. But do you know if you put your name? Did you see
I
your
didn't.
name?
I didn't fill out anything. I just happened to see my name on here.
Oh, you did.
Like my name gets on a bunch of ones that I don't even know how.
Okay. So do you know what room? Do you know what room you were in?
Probably the one from Dion, the 20. Wait a minute. Was it Twin Family something? I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, but you are not been added onto an actual board in here.
Not in here. I just happened to see. Like, let me check out this Zoom and find out.
Okay. So you saw it like in the waiting room.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so you saw it somewhere.
I just happened to look up and saw it, right? And I'm like, well, what is this?
Okay, so if you go back into wherever you saw that Zoom and you click on it, we'll get you connected. Just say, I'm interested. We'll get you connected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. And then when you get connected, you just let them know the same thing. I got one in a possible.
Okay.
Because somebody else may have one in a possible too, and you just kind of can pair up there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you all so much for your time. I appreciate you listening.